But if I understand you correctly, you've been here and in Sweden before.
Yes, I've been in Sweden
Many times, or always for football?
Always for football. I've been once in Stockholm for the former president of Ghana, Mahama, President Mahama. Yeah, I was in Stockholm there was a summit, an international summit that I had to cover.
Okay.
So I was there.
Otherwise, you have been here watching games, doing football interviews.
Football interviews, player promotions, player exodus as well.
And there have been, during maybe the last 10 years, many players from Ghana coming here. And it's the Right to Dream Academy, and a lot of them have done very, very well too. Are there like an established image of Sweden in Ghana that it's a country where you can go and play for? Or are they aware of the opportunity to play in the Swedish league? Or how do you see it?
Yes, in Ghana. When you talk about the right to dream, aspire, talk about Feyenoord, talk about almost all the academies that are being established in Ghana. It's quite.
Go ahead.
It's quite. It's quite big because we have lots of players, as you know. In Sweden is good. You develop the players. Yeah. It isn't like in France as well, but you can't compare the two.
Of course not.
Yeah, and you can't compare with Germany and other places. Yeah. And so, with the links between Ghana and Sweden, yes, it's very big. And so, thus most of the players, come more often here.
Are they hoping like Swedish league are of course not the best, but do they hope that this can be like a first step? Do well here, then move to a bigger football country, maybe like Boris did.
Exactly. As I was speaking to the sporting director of Hacken, yeah, players of that age, are kind of looking forward to become champions or to becoming top players, but they need to pass through the ranks. As you know, it's a stepping stone because in everyday life, let me just go back to Ghana. Ghana, they don't have the facilities, the international standard of facilities for them to help them develop to the standard of, let's say, a player being bought for or being sold for 3 million or 4 million or that sort of thing. And they come from Ghana, even from here, to be sold outside to the other big clubs and all that. They are being sold for 500,000 or 700,000. And if some don't even reach 1 million, you understand? And so, it will definitely have a step, and that is Sweden, in which they're able to have a stepping stone, developmental, be it the game, be it the videos, be it the coaches, the motivation, the surroundings. Then they can reach the level of international standard.
Yeah, and maybe also mature a bit.
Because they're young when they come here.
Do they often long home?
Come again?
Do they often get homesick or?
Get homesick here?
I mean, it's not always adapt coming as a young player and develop to a whole new country, new language.
As I always motivate some of the players that are my friends, I always talk about including Chipsa and all those, they're adults, but they need motivation. It's not easy to leave your parents, to leave all the friends behind, and then, at that tender age, they're adults, 18, 19, they're adults, but they still lack sort of, yeah. And so in that respect, definitely they must be treated as such. That will come from the club, that will come from the psychologist, that will come from the people surrounding them. I can only have a telephone call with them, maybe WhatsApp, social media. Are you okay? What's going on with you?
Oh, so you keep in touch?
Just to keep in touch, to motivate them in that way. But everything dwells.
So you're like a journalist, but maybe also sometimes they're friends?
Oh, friends, journalism has to do with friendship, as you're a journalist as well, yeah. if you don't create that amicable way of doing things, it's an interview, but it's like a conversation. We have to be friends so that everything, can flow, can come out freely from the person. So the journalism is just the second side of it, but being a friend should be the first and utmost.
Do you? I mean, there's been a lot of good players from Ghana here. Who do you think has been the best? You have Warris, Derek Boateng, Ebenezer Ofori was great. Who do you think were the main guy?
Ebenezer is great. Derek has been great as well. He's now agent.
Is it? Oh.
I don't know where he's playing now. Talk about Chipsa, has been phenomenal. He's been a father to the youth. Talk about Warriors, he's been a father to him.
Yeah, I get that impression that he was always very mature.
Exactly.
He sort of seemed to be like almost like a father figure for some of the younger players.
Exactly.
That's the case, right?
Exactly. No, he should have played in the Olympics. He was the captain of the under-23, the Black Meteors. Yeah, in Ghana. They couldn't qualify, I think it was 2005 or so. You see? So he has that maturity in him. He's a matured man, and he knows what it takes to, to groom and to help, assist when it comes to, the young ones. And then they have declared it. They have made it. They have told me many times that they really appreciate the assistance of Yusuf Chipsa. Moving on, Warris is one of the best players you had. He took the goal king, I think, on 2 or 3 occasions.
No, only one. 2012.
And then he took the best player. So
but he scored a lot of goals that season.
He scored a lot of goals before he moved to Russia. He's been phenomenal as well. Talk about the new ones coming. What's his name? Abubakar Mohammed. He's matured. He has settled. He just came from Turkey. And then he just settled into the hacking team. And then with his rich experience, I think he's also doing very well. I can't pick one out of them all. All I can say is they are all fighting hard to reach to the top. And then the new ones, talk about Nasiru, he's also doing well. There's these 2 guys, Kasim Prosper.
Yeah, Kasim Prosper. Yeah, he was in IFK Gothenburg.
IFK, and then I think he has been on loan.
On loan,
yeah. And then the other guy, what's his name?
In the same team, right?
Yeah,
because there were 2 of the Karim Prosper and can't remember the other the name, but I know who you're speaking about.
Yeah. I've met them all. I meet them when I come here. So
do they have a lot of different backgrounds, the players coming here? Because sometimes maybe it's easy that you see foreign players coming and you think they are like that. They are all the same, but of course they have different stories and different backgrounds too. Players.
Different backgrounds in what respect?
Maybe socially and talent-wise and all kinds of aspects.
Yes, of course you should understand that we are all human, but we are not the same people.
Sure.
We all have differences, be it social, be it psychological, be it, strength, ability, game front, everything, we have differences. But they shouldn't be that of a vast difference because they come from the same community. Ghana is one, when I say Ghana, they are from Accra. Some are from
You're from Accra?
Oh, I'm from Cape Coast.
Oh.
But these 2 players have been playing for the same club. That is Mighty to the Jets. Yeah, Mighty Jets. And it's in Accra. Fine, they come from their respective, hometowns. Yeah, the other guy comes from the north, the other guy comes from the west. But that doesn't take anything away from them. Shouldn't take. And it won't take anything away from them. Because they were all, groomed with their parents, from their parents in Accra. So they have some things in common.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be anything of... No. They should understand themselves.
Soccer fans in Ghana, are they like, I know they follow closely the biggest league, of course, like in England and France and Italy and the best leagues, but do they also keep track with certain players that play Sweden, for example? Do they follow them and do they know how they are doing? And
Ah, yes, certainly, certainly. There's this website. I write for Star FM online as well, the sports section.
So you write for
Star FM, I write for the state newspaper, Ghanaian Times, freelance as well.
Mm.
I have my own blogs,
do a
blogging
lot
and
of
all
things.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, with the players abroad, that has to be essential on the part of we, the journalists. We have to track them. We have to always be inclined with them, to them, to find out what they are doing, how they are faring outside there. Sweden is very important. Why? Because that is where, as I earlier said, that we groom them. And so we monitor them to the extent that if they are ripe and then they can. Nasiru was a former captain for the under 20, yeah, of the satellites. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, so I'm monitoring him. I'll do stories I've done a couple of stories that will definitely be published, and they will have various national team coaches will have a fair idea of how they are faring. And then don't forget that the coaches themselves, they do their own scouting. They monitor them themselves, apart from we writing articles and all that about them. They also talk about England, of course, Germany, of course, France, of course. We do monitor them often.
How do they react when you make contact with them? Are they glad to speak to a fellow countryman, or that you keep interesting? Or how do they react with, like, when you're coming here? Are they happy? Or?
Oh, they are happy. They are happy. Abu Bakr just called me. He was going to bring his children out, and then after we will meet in town. To sit down a bit, have a couple of chats, and he had a great game on Monday. It was just splendid, because he was the holding midfielder in that particular game. And then I told him on the phone, Nasiru was suspended with a red card, and so he couldn't. But that shouldn't take anything away from the entire team. It was a teamwork, and then they won. And then he's happy. They're always happy to have us around, because we will put them across. We will. If we don't write about them, if we don't talk about them, who will talk about them? Yeah.
So based on your time here and your trips here before, and from what you've seen, what's your opinion on the Swedish league?
Oh, the Swedish.
And you don't have to be polite. Say what you.
Oh no!
Say what you think.
I'm not. No. As you saw at the press conference,
Yeah.
you saw how I asked my questions.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not polite in that respect. If it's A, I make it A. I have to make it A. I don't have to twist it. Swedish league, it's growing. It's growing every day. You understand? I mean, despite the whole, this we don't have all the top players playing here, but that shouldn't take anything away from the Swedish league. Malmo is doing well. Stockholm is doing well. Gothenburg is doing well. Hacken is doing well. But you see, as I said earlier, or as I did say, it's a stepping stone here. As I was speaking to Sonny, director, he said, money is the issue. If they have money, if there's money, if you pump money into the whole club, I think it can rise to the occasion. It can be better off than what we are seeing, because you have the players. But you see,
if one player make a really good season, he won't be playing in this league.
He wants to leave. You understand? They play one, they want to leave. It's money.
Yeah.
They're all playing for money. You understand? So that has an influence. I would say a negative influence. Not negative in that respect, but it brings down because the players play one season, 2 seasons. When they shine, they leave.
Yeah, it's hard to get continuity.
But if it's 4 seasons, Nasiru wanted to leave, according to the director. But the offers couldn't come as they were.
He wanted to leave this summer, or what?
Yeah, but the offers were slow. The money wasn't that big. So, in that all, putting all these things together, I mean, I won't take anything away from the Swedish league. I mean, you have to continue like that. But I think the system must pump money into the football league so that the players can stay matured properly, and then make the clubs or the players and then the entire league grow bigger than as it is. But you're doing perfectly well.
What did you think in retrospect about the press conference that you dominated?
Oh, I'm always like that, I ask tangible questions, and then you see, when I'm at the press box, when I'm in the press box, or when I'm just observing, I watch the match, but I have a technical eye for. I've been a player before.
Oh, you were?
Yes, I've played before, but not on the top flight. Just local, normal football. Ghanaians, we have talent, in all capacities. But that shouldn't, You see, I observed that the flanks were new, with zero. The midfield wasn't holding. Strikers weren't clicking. And so I just saw the entire team, and not knowing it wasn't the coach himself. It was, the coaches. Two coaches were suspended, and so it was just a caretaker coach.
Yeah.
So I rest my case. I think all I needed to say was to depict, the problems that were surrounding the team that particular day.
Your first question was if he was happy with the result.
Thank you.
And he was, I think he was a bit surprised with that. He was,
with that question?
Yes, of course. 2-0.
You should be jubilated.
Yeah, he probably hadn't expected critical questions, I think, because the team had just won. So maybe the answers were not the best. But as you say, he is not the main coach. Right?
That's it.
He won't remember that. he won't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I think it was a fun experience for him as well.
Yeah, he should be. I know he won't say no. He will definitely say yes. But in write-ups, we can start from the pyramid way. We can start from the corner, and then what I'm saying. So I was only starting from the pyramid way. Trying to be a little, until I open up my whole questions to him. And then I guess he admitted it sincerely, and then I'm glad it was okay.
All right. But this will be the only game for you on this trip, or
yes,
have you seen?
I'll be leaving on Friday morning back to Paris.
Yeah.
And then
Have you been in Gothenburg the whole time? Or?
Gothenburg. I've been to Malmo. I've been to another place not far. From Haken.
Okay. What did you do in Malmo?
Malmo, I went to check on there's a Ghanaian player there.
Kingsley.
Yeah, Kingsley. I had to check on him.
Did you speak to him?
We had one-on-one quickly. It was okay. Yeah.
He's quite shy.
Yeah, he's a shy. Nasir is also shy. Most of the players, but he's a gentle guy. I mean, he's smiling.
He's actually one of the big players in the league right now, and that transfer was a big story in Sweden because since he didn't change country, he moved just to a bigger club in Sweden, and that it's not that common because usually when you do well in a smaller club like he did, you won't be going to another Swedish club. So this was actually quite new for us that he actually kept him in the country and not to Russia, or Turkey. So I think many Swedes were happy to see him stay in the country, even if he changed club. And it also tells you something that you have a really dominant team in Sweden right now that has a lot of more money than the other team. They wouldn't be able to make such a transfer 5 years ago. And so things are happening. Swedish league used to be very, very equal, changed champions every year, but now it's not that case. We really have like a front team now.
The Gautier Cup, what happened?
What do you mean?
The Gautier Cup.
Yeah, what do you mean what happened?
Aspire came to take it. Aspire from Ghana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, which year group?
This year.
Oh,
yeah.
But how old?
I think it was 17.
Oh,
yeah, 17.
Oh, they won?
Both the female and then the male.
They won?
They won the cup. 2 of them. So imagine.
All right. Was that reported in Ghana? Or?
Yes, it was. Yeah. There was a nice story on it.
Yeah, it's the biggest youth cup in the country. I used to play it once when I was small. It's like a big happening.
Oh, okay.
It's also, of course, it's mostly about football and games, but it's also a big social